Hey Patreon producers, it is me, Hallease, back with another Motivation Monday. So, happy Monday. I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with just that. Hello. Say It Loud hit 100,000 subscribers, and they sent me a play button. Of course, I had one sent to KLRU in Austin as well, so they'll probably, keep it and use it on the set, and so that'll be cool. That'll be a neat thing that'll happen. And I also got to go to YouTube Black. I just got back from YouTube Black last week, and it was interesting. It's the first time I've ever gone. They try to have it in, I think, a different city during an HBCU's homecoming. So there's the fan fest tied to it as well. And it was interesting. They gave us all Pixel 4s, so I'm walking around with a new Pixel 4 as well. And we got a lot of cool stuff, I will say, but I was really more interested in getting to actually talk to the Google team, getting to actually talk to the YouTube team about the platform, and just, trying to make this so I can make myself sustainable in that way, and trying to see just what specifically they're doing to help African American creators, and not even just African American creators, just Black creators, I should be more specific, Black creators on the platform. And so I did go to the monetization. There was a breakout session around monetization. There was a breakout session around FameBit, actually, and talking to some of the FameBit team. So now I'm on my grind of just following up with those connections that I was able to make. The thing I'm learning professionally right now is that I'm at a place where I have to kind of just be really cognizant about putting myself out there and going to the summit, going to the conference, and then having those organic conversations. As much as we are all online and connected online, I'm learning that that human interaction is still very, very key. And I think that's also one of the main reasons why I got invited to YouTube Black, to be honest. Turns out that one of the people that is on the global marketing team, Lauren, is the person who runs Creators for Change. And I've always first off, when I did Creators for Change, I turned my stuff in on time. I showed up to all the sessions. I was just a good student, if you will. I think being responsive, being timely, being, for lack of a better word, professional has paid off for me in this way. So I reconnected with her while at YouTube Black, and just also was like, Creators for Change, year 3, is that popping off or not? And I also mentioned to her how I would love to, I don't necessarily need to do another video for Creators for Change. I would love to just work with other YouTubers who are in the program and mentor and just help them out, you know what I mean? And so I kind of soft pitched that to her as well. I connected with a lot of other creators that I sort of know indirectly. Saw Kat Black. She's a trans woman on YouTube that does a lot of really cool stuff. It's always nice to see her again because she's a Virgo as well, so I feel like we always just jive, you know what I'm saying? In that way, we think very similarly, and are yet so different. I got to meet Star Puppy Danielle. She does a lot of natural hair care videos on YouTube, but she's this idea of I've learned this from a podcaster that I listen to called Andy J. Pizza, and he has the Creative Pep Talk podcast, but in one of them he talks about this idea of subverting the box, where you always hear this saying, think outside the box, but you need to have a starting point from somewhere. How can you take what is in that box and subvert it and make it different? And I feel like on Danielle's channel, she's done such a great job of that, of incorporating this sort of humor aspect to a braid out, because we all know what a braid out is, you know what I'm saying? So I really loved connecting with her, and it was cool to know that she knew me from the show, which is always nice. It's really nice to just go somewhere and people just kind of know who you are already. I got to hang out with some of the Dormtainment guys. They're all really nice. And I think that was the thing that was really awesome, was that they're all super nice. Everybody was just very welcoming. Everybody was just down to just be together in all our unique Black ways, and so that was really cool. Jade did a set and Fan Fest, and I got to watch her do that, and it was amazing. She killed it. Y'all know that I applied to Sony Alpha Female. They announced the winners over the weekend. I obviously was not one of them. My thing with that is just like, you know, I get no's a lot, so it's kind of just like whatever. The thing that kind of got me a little in my feels about it though was just the women who did win are all amazing, but just like, do you even need this program? Amazing. Like, they were all, one of the filmmaker that they found has filmed for like major, like directed major brand commercials, and you know, I assume the budgets associated with that are good. They're supposed to be. You know, she's also directed features already. Like, she's very seasoned. The photographers they got, New York Times, National Geographic, like pew pew pew, they are out here, you know what I'm saying, in really big ways. And so for me, I was just kind of like, okay, if these people, for me it was like one of two things. One, okay, is this year's Sony Alpha Female more of just a marketing thing, you know? I mean, it's always a marketing thing, but is it more really just like, we want to make sure certain women that are out here killing it are just tied to our brand a little more, which is fine, if that's what it was. But then my other question was, oh God, are these women, even as successful on paper as they are they still like scraping for this? You know what I mean? So then, like, it just had me in my feels for the day, where I was just kind of like, oh man, I really hope it's the first thing and not the second thing. Like, I really just hope this year was more of a marketing thing for Sony to just tie themselves to women that are pew pew pew, and not that even with the accolades that all of these women had, they're still like, oh, I need to win a thing like this because it's hard out here. You know what I'm saying? I really hope it's that. So, whoo, that was a little come Jesus moment for myself, especially because the first year, the first cohort, the first group, it really felt like they were all around my professional level of just, yeah, doing a program like this would really get them that boost to just kind of help them just really put themselves out there in that way. And so that was why I was really excited to apply, because I felt like I was the right kind of fit. Like, I wasn't too far ahead in my career, I wasn't too far necessarily behind, like still need some experience. Like, I was at a good point where I could really be an asset to Sony, but also like it'd be a good experience for me. So, you know, that's the thing. I apply to so much stuff, y'all. I apply to so much stuff that you get a no and you're just like, yeah, like you get used to no's a lot. So that was interesting. I also have applied for San Antonio here is having, they wanted to sort of kind of pitch a YouTube channel, I think, to entice people, like through the Tourism Bureau of San Antonio, kind of do some stuff. And so I found out about that at the last minute, applied to that. We'll see what happens. It remains to be seen on what will happen with that. But again, for me, it's also like, sometimes a no is just a not yet. Sometimes it's good to just apply, because even if you don't get it, they now know who you are, hopefully. That's what happened with me with Adobe. The Adobe residency I applied to a year ago. I applied really thinking I would get it, because they like asked me to apply. And then, you know, at the last minute, I kind of just didn't get it for whatever reason. But that didn't matter, because then they still sponsored my channel, you know, and that was what helped me go freelance, that and doing Creators for Change. So sometimes a no is just a not yet. I try not to take no's personally anymore, because you just never know how that no could maybe help you or not. This video is getting long. Let me wrap this up, sorry. And that's where I'm at. So all of that being had said, I hope y'all are having a good Monday. Woo, I covered a lot in this Monday motivation. Wow. I hope y'all are having a good Monday. In the comments below, let me know what's going on with y'all, what you're up to, what are you not up to, what are you trying to get done this week. I'm always interested to hear from you. I will see you next week, God willing. Stay blessed. Bye.